Hello, beautiful people. Hope you had a good weekend. It's Monday, and today we get into the Nova Scotia Tattoo.
Farmer protests in the Netherlands.
There's just such a long list.
I know.
I'm going to pick one here. Ghislaine Maxwell, 20 years in prison.
And the used car market collapsing.
And lastly, but did you celebrate Canada Day? It all starts now.
Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, everyone. It's so good to have you all on one more time. It's your boy, Josh.
Dalton.
And we're grateful to be back on with you for another Monday.
It's another Monday.
Yeehaw. We got Philip behind the buttons. Yeehaw. Let's go. Philip is feeling alive because he said, I quit.
Tell us a story.
I'm
on camera right now.
I'm quitting again on camera. I'm quitting again. We're gonna rotate things up. No, I am decided I'm quitting one of my part-time jobs.
You know what?
Whoa!
It's quitting season.
It's time for us to get recalibrated and start loving ourselves.
That's right. This is the third person I knew who was like, this is no longer for me. Quit.
Yeah, yo.
I love it. We're too young. Life's too short.
Yeah, exactly. Got to enjoy your life at some point.
Yeah,
and to give context, I mean, Philip really does need to because he's literally working 7 days a week for the past month.
No, I don't know how you do it.
I don't know how you're still living.
Caffeine and energy drinks.
Oh my gosh.
This kid's not dead yet. I'm surprised.
That is the grind though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are the good old days, weren't they?
I know. I literally was like, you know what? I think we've all worked jobs like way too often that we hated. So I think it's just part of life. And then you quit them and you move on and it's just a memory.
Yeah. Congratulations, Philip. We love you.
Thank you very much.
No problem. But yeah, there's a lot to get into today.
Dude, big week just went by. Obviously, hot topics. I would say, Ghislaine Maxwell is a hot topic. Canada Day is surprisingly a hot topic.
It was a hot day too.
Yeah, exactly. It was a nice weekend, which obviously was whatever you were up to was nice, nice treat. But there's just the topics today. Most of them are very two-sided.
Yeah.
You kind of got to pick one.
Yeah. For a lot of people, they're very black and white.
Yeah.
And we choose black every time.
I can't say.
I read your mind on that one too. So no, we're excited. We're going to start off with the used car market that's possibly falling in on itself.
I hope.
Yeah. You really want it?
Buying cars sucks, man.
You're over it?
I hate it. I just think beyond what it's actually about, I just want car salesmen to just get it in the teeth.
Really? You want to go to the car salesman over here?
Dude, I hate them. Have you bought a Tesla? That's the best user experience when you bought a car.
That's true. I didn't have to deal with the salesman.
Yeah, you don't have to be sold to. It just is what it was. And this is, getting into this because these car salesmen were the people pushing the cars on people. So, I don't know what's going to happen next, but
yeah, I'm not going to lie. We'll read through the tweet thread from Graham Steffen, who is pretty much an investor, really knowledgeable in the investment space, real
finance guru.
Yeah, head first in real estate, all of that.
Yeah,
very wise young guy, has done very well for himself.
Yeah,
and he has an interesting take on the used car market currently, specifically in the States, but it's also here in Canada as well. He said in the first tweet, the used car market is on the brink of an auto loan collapse that can shake the entire industry. I am shocked that more people are not talking about this. We are facing a 2008-ish scenario in the used car market. Honestly, it's a disaster waiting to happen. When buyers purchase a car, a vast majority, 85%, are financed. The problem is that, unlike real estate, auto loans are not subject to strict underwriting requirements, allowing almost anyone to get one. Buyers with lower credit scores were funneled into loans with 2x interest. You can see how crazy this is in the latest auto loan consumer reports. 25 to 50% of the loans were given to customers who might not be able to repay it. Lenders only verified the source of income and employment of only 4% of the time. If that's not crazy enough, as of now, 5% of auto loans are behind payments and nearly half of them are underwater. Just like how the housing market collapsed from the loan crisis in '08, the same thing is said to happen, starting to happen in the auto loan market here and now. As the supply chain and chip crisis has improved from COVID times, used car prices have dropped for 4 consecutive months and are now down 6.4% since January. This is a nightmare for the banks that have lent money on these cards, whose value is rapidly beginning to fall.
The fact that they only verified income and employment 4% of the time, it's harder to get an apartment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, I think the state's a little different. I know up here, I mean, it was weirdly easy for me to get my loan from a
Yeah, I was going to say, when I just bought my most recent vehicle, and the one before that, I just came in with like a pay stub and my social insurance number.
Oh, nice.
And it worked out.
Yep.
They don't even explain what's happening. All of a sudden, you're just signing documents from a bank and you're good, you know? Hopefully you get a good interest rate or whatever. Like, there's not much to it.
Yeah. No, I think that's what spooked me the most when I was getting it, because it was like, obviously I've gone through such a tenuous process trying to get financing for a home. The car situation, I was like,
what a breeze.
Yeah, I was like, especially because of the Tesla, like I was actually trying to finance as much of it as possible because I just wanted to, keep money in other investments. So I was just trying to, put the minimum down payment possible.
Yeah.
And so, like my amount I had to finance was like $50,000.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, no problem. I was like,
know.
what?
I know.
That's not a cheap car, man. Like,
I know.
Okay. And so if that's happened to me, I can only imagine what's happening around the country.
Yeah. And especially maybe people who got into vehicles that like they can't afford.
Yeah.
But they just could at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like, not a pendulum, but if, your financial well-being is a house of cards, and one of the base layers is like the only thing holding it up is your income from your job. We're heading into a recession.
Mm-hmm.
Jobs get cut. Will your entire house of cards fall down if that one is taken out?
Right.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Yeah, I think like obviously in my scenario, it's like a little different. Obviously, if you have a brand new car and I can at least pay it, banks are okay with that. The issue is the used car lots are going into is a lot of used cars were inflated in value.
Yep.
And people took out these crazy loans for those cars. And now those cars are losing their value again and going back to normal levels. Yeah. And so if people are going to start defaulting, the banks are being caught having a bunch of loans that they can't pay off, or they could pay off, but it's just a bunch of crap loans that they're going to try and repackage and sell for somebody else yet again.
Yep. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean then if the entire used car industry crashes? I don't think this will affect your ability to go purchase used cars. Do you think it will? Or do you think this may lead to what could be like stricter underwriting or insurance on car loans and stricter requirements on used car loans? And
yeah, I mean, I'm curious what will happen. Like, I'm sure you'll see some type of crash in terms of pricing, at least in the used car market. But what will happen is a lot of these banks are going to be up the creek.
Yeah.
And we have a government that's just going to be like, yeah, we got you.
I know we do.
Yeah.
I know.
And just going to bail them all out, of course.
And we all got to pay for people's mistakes.
Yeah. And then, that's going to come out of our taxes as per usual. And the merry-go-round goes round and round.
That's right. And we just do it all again over another, what's this, roughly 12-year cycle?
Yeah. Right. I think we're at 14 now. So, yeah.
12 to 15 years. We'll all just go through a recession and some sort of crisis and then move on.
Yeah, I'm curious. Actually, I want to continue reading this tweet thread because he brings up some very interesting things. He says, just recently, Equifax reported that 8.5% of subprime borrowers defaulted on their car loans, the second highest on record. Wow. The Wall Street Journal also found that more subprime borrowers have started missing out on payments as rising inflation made them choose between essentials and auto loans. We've talked about that, haven't we?
We did.
The reality is that lenders have given buyers unaffordable loans without verifying their financials on car values that cannot be sustained without a chip shortage. It's only a matter of time. Eventually, things have to come back to normal. KPMG predicts that used car prices can drop 30% as more supplies hit the market, and Ally Financial predicts a 20% drop. The timing is a bit uncertain, but it looks like it's going to unravel in the next 12 to 18 months.
Wow. There's one thing that got me here. Giving buyers unaffordable loans without verifying their financials on car value. So, for example, when you buy a house, you get your home appraised, and then the bank bases that on a 80-20 loan to value. But they don't do that with cars. The value is just what the sales manager decided at that dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they've gotten away with charging new prices on used vehicles for the last 2 years.
Yep. And it'll be interesting what happens. Like, as you said, like, it's not, this type of crash isn't as detrimental as like a housing one would be.
Certainly. Yeah.
But I'm curious what will happen when this happens, how that's going to affect other parts of the market.
Well, I want to know how it's going to affect people too, because people mainly rely on their vehicles to get to work.
Yeah.
What if people can't get to work? How long can they not get to work before they have to figure that out or lose their job? How many of those cases will lead to lost jobs? What will that many lost jobs lead to?
Right. Yeah.
It don't run uphill.
Yeah. It's a scary time. It's weird.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting.
It is. And it's just be very careful when borrowing money.
Yeah. Make sure you know why you're borrowing money, and make sure you know you have the means to pay it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you can just afford your vehicle with your salary, you can't afford your vehicle.
No. Yeah. If you're feeling stretched, not a good time.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah. It's I think that was always my thing, at least with that was always my personal conviction when it came to purchasing the Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we will always have the money to pay that thing off if we have to.
Yeah.
And like that, just I have other money and other investments that are taking care of other things. But if I have to, easily can pull money out and have that thing paid off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a huge believer in that, but I'm not a huge believer in like just pulling out a crazy loan and just hoping my salary can cover the payments on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
That's a tough game to be playing.
Very risky one.
Very risky.
Very risky.
Very scary. Not a fun one.
No.
Not a fun one.
I agree.
Yeehaw. All right. So to you listeners out there, how dare you?
Oh my gosh. This is how we're going to start this one.
You sick freaks. Celebrating Canada Day. A lot of people said you probably shouldn't be celebrating Canada Day.
Yeah, that's word on the street says.
And I celebrated Canada Day.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I guess like.
Me too, but here's the thing. I'm not a patriot.
Yeah.
I don't care about Canada. I wanted to see we were all off on Friday.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit in the pool and drink beer.
Yeah.
Sorry if that offends you.
Yeah. No, it was a very interesting thing. I, great listener of the show, actually wrote an article about why we should not cancel Canada Day.
Right.
It was a very interesting piece. He did a good job kind of hitting it down the middle of like understanding why people feel very passionate about it and very sensitive about it.
Absolutely.
And then, but essentially his conclusion was, as Canadians, at least as people, we've continued to reflect on things that we're coming up short in, that we're not doing great in, but Canada Day should also be used to really at least acknowledge where we've been doing well.
Yeah.
Where we've done great things, where we've brought in immigrants, brought in refugees, helped give people a home who are struggling in the world.
Yeah.
Canada means a lot of things to a lot of people who've come here too.
Yep.
And that's something we got to keep in mind as well.
Absolutely. And I think you can absolutely celebrate the wins while acknowledging the awful things that Canada has done. Because we can't run from it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
And it's awful. But in the same breath, Canada Day exactly means a lot of things to a lot of people. And for the majority of people I know, it's not for any sort of patriotic celebration or cheering on what Canada's done. It's because we're all off. Everyone in your family can get together. You can have a barbecue and hang out and catch up. So for a lot of people, maybe it is a day where they see their loved ones and reconnect. And maybe that brings them some good. And for all we know, that could be the mental health boost that they needed. And so be less quick to judge why people may be out celebrating with friends because you don't know what's happening in their life either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you cannot make other people care.
Yeah.
That's just the hard truth.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a goal and a mission, and whether that's A or B, you cannot make anyone come along on that journey with you. So if you think Canada should not be celebrated, that's fine. Don't celebrate it. But if you have friends and family who do, and they're celebrating in a way that is not cheering on the destructive things Canada's done, just let them be.
Mm-hmm.
They know about the destructive things Canada's done, but for them, maybe it's just time to see family, or hang out or relax.
I think a lot of any celebration, whether like it being Christmas or like Canada Day, for me, they're all the same. It's just kind of a reason to connect with people.
Me too.
And I feel like, especially with, Canada Day, I think it is just, yes, there's been some stuff that's happened in the past. As a country, we have, done things.
Mm-hmm.
We've done good things and Canada Day is just, it shouldn't be something negative. It just should be a reason for everyone to connect.
Yeah.
Put apart like our differences and connect as Canadians, connect as people, connect as families, connect as different individuals, and just celebrate. Like
100%.
Celebrate being like together as people. That all there is. Like that's
exactly
any celebration, any event, and like Christmas, you're celebrating family.
Right.
Like
exactly.
People are just overthinking it. I feel
Me too.
people are overthinking it, looking too into it. It's just like, why you gotta hate on some people? Just love each other. Like we said this multiple times. Josh has said it multiple times. Just love each other and like just connect with people. And just people can be happy in their different ways and put apart their differences. It's not that hard.
I absolutely agree.
Amen to that.
Straight up.
And don't get me don't get twisted too. Like straight up. We do have people who do watch our show, who are from the Indigenous community.
Absolutely.
And I had my eyes on their socials during the weekend, and they had some very good reasons why they felt negatively about Canada Day, which I totally get.
I don't they have like every right to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with them. It's nasty. The stuff that Canada's done is nasty. So if you know someone who's celebrating Canada Day who's cheering on those nasty things, they're a nasty person then. That is, if they think that being Canadian, what?
No, I'm just saying, I'm trying to imagine, but I know what you're saying. It's just like, could you imagine that type of person's like, yeah, everything we did, spot on. We should do it again. Like, what?
Have you been to rural Nova Scotia?
What?
What do you mean?
Okay, hit me what you're talking about here. Spicy times, let's go.
Oh, I just think there are way more racists everywhere than we choose to admit. And I think there are people that absolutely celebrate one community's shortfalls as their greatness. So I think there are people who will look at Canada Day and go, it makes you so mad because of what Canada did that I'm going to celebrate it to make you even more mad. And I know that this hurts you. So I'm going to celebrate it strictly because I know it hurts you and post about it and make sure you see it so I know it hurts you.
You think that that's like a good chunk of people that do that, or do you think that's like a very small minority of people that would do that?
I would say 30% of my social media was like a direct attack from both sides.
No way.
There was one half of that 30% was saying, if I see anyone post anything about Canada Day, expect to be blocked. I no longer wish to be friends with you. I know what you're doing. And the other half was, I don't care how you feel about Canada Day. It's all part of our history. I'm going to celebrate it anyway, and you're going to have to deal with it.
Okay, that's a little different though, I think.
I don't think, because I can be very perfectly clear how I feel in that what you are talking about, as in the Indigenous community, is wrong. Mm-hmm. And me coming together with my family on Canada Day is not celebrating that.
Right.
But to say I'm going to celebrate Canada Day for all that it is, and you're just going to have to deal with it. You're celebrating all that it is.
I got you.
It doesn't seem, I can separate the two.
I understand.
I can celebrate Canada at the same time. I can, no other words coming to me than hate what Canada did or despise or you know what I'm saying. Like,
I understand.
I can separate the two, But there was a lot. I mean, at least on my social media, I can only go off what I've seen. There's just a lot of nastiness over the weekend.
Yeah, a lot of clashing.
A ton.
Yeah, I saw that too. A little bit, quite a bit. And I agree. I'm just out here for the barbecues, boys.
I know, yeah. Like, and that's the thing is, it's like, I mean, to me, it's like, anyone came up to us while we were at our barbecue, you know, of any ethnicity, of any background, there would be no question, like, you know what I mean? So it's not like that to me. It's not like, it's not something that we're gatekeeping or something like that. Like, it's not about that.
Right.
But for some, it's like a hard weekend to get through, which I get. And for others, I think they get a little too much enjoyment out of celebrating it.
Interesting. What a wild time, boys. GG.
And I think that just is what it is. You can't please everyone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's I'm curious though, that the other side in terms of what you're saying was just going to celebrate everything that it is. Do you think, I'm curious if that's a reaction to a typical white leftist who just is like trying to jam what they think down your throat so you could just go down 10 times harder the other side.
Wait, you lost me.
Sorry, yeah.
So the person who would post that, say whatever, or say to them whatever, yeah.
I'm wondering if that's more of a reaction to the other side just cramming it down their throat than it is like
a reaction to maybe the Indigenous community.
Yeah, because I'm saying I react differently to someone who, you know, I can tell is not from that community, did not experience those things, and is telling me what I should do and what I should think, versus a very different conversation of, say, knowing someone in the Indigenous community who's like, hey, like, they just laid it bare and was vulnerable with me with how they feel. That's that would promote a very different feeling in me, an emotion.
That is a great point. And I don't know the answer to that in these cases.
Right.
Because I can't see who they're specifically targeting. But that's a really good point.
Interesting.
Because I agree, there is a different lesson to be learned when it comes from someone from the community. Yeah. In any regard.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. Woo! Hey, boys.
It is funny though how you say like the white liberal or whatever, because it is funny how somehow they're the loudest throughout everything.
Yeah, they have all kinds of things to say, and I'm like, and they usually are the ones that have the least amount of life experience, I find, and it really bothers me.
I know because I mean there was many Indigenous or First Nations. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to be offensive. I think it's First Nations. Is the right way to refer to that community. So I'm going to say First Nations, who posted actually really, like these people posted really educating things on their stuff that I didn't even know. And I thought that was so useful. They were posting links, posting as to learn about what Canada's done. I thought that was great. But then there were just like people I went to high school with who were like, I'm going to ban you and we're not friends. And I was, even the person from the community, the First Nations community, is willing to talk to me about it and like
have a conversation.
And then one other thing that comes up is they say, well, it's not their job to educate you, but they're willing to, you know?
So why not have the conversation?
Yeah. Why not have the conversation? Why not learn from the source?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So it's funny you mentioned that because I think the same way. It's just so strange how they're the loudest and with the most knowledge, quote unquote knowledge.
Yeah. And then I understand their life and where they've been, and I'm like, you come from the most vanilla part of life.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what's always bothered me is like...
And same, really. When I look at what some people have gone through, same.
Being someone who grew up in a very multicultural society and group of friends growing up where I was literally one of 3 white kids.
Right.
And like, I got to be around a lot of cultures growing up in Toronto.
Yeah.
To have these white leftists come out to me who grew up in New Brunswick telling me how I should be living and how I should feel about different cultures, they can get out of my face. Straight up. That's dumb. Like, these people are just annoy me. I'm like, what any type of adversity have you been through in your life? Really? Have you actually went and actually experienced other cultures? No, because you inherently probably hate them. And this is just a way of cascading and putting, projecting what you're feeling on other people.
Yeah. Isn't there a word for like white saviorism or like white something like that?
Yeah.
Or
white knighting?
Oh, was that
another one?
Oh,
That's another way of saying it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So strange. It's like actually kind of more offensive, but
Oh, it 100% is. It's just because
just no one wants to talk about it.
it's so much more insidious.
It's a superiority complex.
100%.
Yeah. Where I'm like,
Yeah, like you look at another race, like you can't help yourself, but I can help you. And it's just
Right.
like that is literally racism. Like
I know.
what?
Where I'm just like, no, I celebrated Canada Day.
Yeah.
Here's why it's not rude. You know, just explain yourself. It's okay. You're allowed to do something different and explain why. Like,
Yeah. And even so, I don't need to explain myself either.
also that you also don't owe anyone an explanation.
Live
but
your life.
in the same breath, you can't do things without consequences, and that's fine. Just be ready for them. That's fine.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Just bring it.
I know. So it was funny how you mentioned like some small town New Brunswick. This is the last ramble I'll go on. There was a TikTok pointed out to me, and it was about Morgan Wallen's song,
Oh, no.
Can't Love You More Than My Hometown.
Yeah.
And it was like boys listen to the song, and then they'd be from Pictou County.
Oh yeah, totally. We're here for it. So that was topic 1 of 5 on this week's episode.
Buckle up.
So here we go. Dublin Chebucto Park residents are getting evicted, dude.
Which I kind of hate that the city uses the term evicted.
Yeah.
Like these people are already homeless.
Yeah.
You don't have to pretend that you're evicting them. It's not home.
Yeah.
You're tearing down their sheds. Call it what it is.
You're right.
You're going with a chainsaw and like a pickup truck. And you're taking it. Like, just be honest. You're not evicting them. There's no lease.
Yeah, true.
What? They make it sound all, we're evicting them and we'll be fining them. They're with what money are they going to pay the fine?
Seriously.
They can't find somewhere to rent. You think they have money for your fine?
Yeah.
That's okay. Do I love a park in the middle of the city that has campfires and reported drug needles and everything over? Of course not. I don't think anyone does. At the same time, there are people who have made that home. They have to live somewhere. The government's not doing anything for them. They have to live somewhere. So I can get over it. It's not that deep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just like, fines and eviction. Where are these people gonna go?
Seriously. Yeah, the term eviction is really interesting.
I
It's
know.
like a weird term for this. It's like,
It's a very strange term.
all right, so where are they going to go? I guess they set up green spaces around the city so that they can, just not that park, just a different park that they're going
It
to
is
send them to.
crazy, and especially I was speaking about this with my property manager actually, and she was like, "It is so backwards to me how the province and the federal Liberal government demonizes landlords and private rental owners and blames them for creating a housing crisis, when in the same breath, when they try to create new housing, they're only met with roadblocks, they're only met with challenges, and they're only met with delays. If private investors, landlords, developers could build mass quantities, which obviously to an extent they are, only in downtown Halifax. Living in downtown has a price. That's just life. But if you can build higher density housing within like 10 minutes of Halifax, the rent would not need to be as expensive because there would be more. It's quantity and supply and demand. So it's just so interesting how the government takes this. Landlords and developers have caused this. They won't build or develop anything and only block the developers from trying to build at least something. Mm-hmm. What are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do?
There's no other avenue to take. What do you wait? Like, who are we waiting for? Is there something I don't know about that's in the works? Like, I don't know. Where's this housing supposed to come from?
I couldn't tell you. It's hilarious. Like I think that's part of the problem is no one really has a clear solution for how to solve it.
Because let me tell you, when there are people who know that they can make some money, because people like to make money, that's life. Sorry. And they're going to build housing. And if you could put them on a program where they can still make some money, charge affordable rent because they were able to build so many units, they would be so advantageous to keep building more. It's more money made for the development. It's more housing that's affordable created for Nova Scotians. And the government can do whatever they do and just relax now, since it's not their problem anymore. But they've made it their problem. It's the Nova Scotia Housing Authority. They've taken it back from all the municipalities. They want to do it themselves. And here we are. The biggest housing crisis Nova Scotia's ever seen
And now we're evicting people from parks.
Yeah, and now, the one place that these people do have to go, we're going to take it away.
Yeah. And I think I definitely agree with you on that one, where it's like, I'm not a fan.
Of course
of
not.
It, but like, I'm also can live with the idea. It's like, no, like we're in a really tough situation. I can have a lot of grace on the situation.
Yeah, they're humans.
Yeah.
It's my only gripe is it's near school, and apparently there's a lot of needles on or around the property.
Gotcha.
That's the only part I'm like, that's a little scary, but it's what a great lesson to teach your children as well, to just be careful of your surroundings. But also, these people are not beneath you. They're your citizens. They're your comrades. They are just.
I just said comrade.
What's that mean? Isn't that?
It was a huge like Soviet Russia.
Oh, but it's like, like they're like a.
All right, communist, I got you, sir.
That's right. I believe in communism.
I'm just kidding. I was gonna get going. But yeah,
and to because I know there are children who walk by that and go, ew, ew, and whatnot. And so maybe this is a great time to say, you know what, these are people. Not everyone's got it like we do. Yes, there is potential drug use. Again, I don't know, so I'm not going to say there is. And along that, mental health, I'm sure, great lessons to be taught. But these people are not there to be a mockery or to be their teachers either. They're there because they have to be. They don't want to be there. So just find a little grace for these people and just let them have that little bit that they have.
Yeah.
They're like, it's the summertime. That winter comes every year.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. What happens then?
Yeah.
Now they're homeless without their tents and their like little sheds that were built for them. And now it's snowing and it's cold and raining and I don't know. It seems really messed up.
Yeah, it's
probably a hot take to hear from me, but
I don't think it's much of a hot take.
I think you just need to show grace and just be grateful that you're not in that situation and maybe just keep the rest to yourself if you have anything to say after that.
Yeah,
it does not need to be said at them.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I love how everyone has their feelings of like, well, if they just did this, they wouldn't be in this situation. And I'm like, bro,
you don't even know the start.
Yeah, like there's so many things that could go wrong in your life right now that could put you in that scenario.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm humble to that. Like that could very much happen to me. And
1000%, especially if I had grown up. I've got an addictive personality. If I had grown up, meaning being 20 to 30. Back when doctors were prescribing basically anything for whatever and created an opioid crisis, I don't know how well I would have survived that. And that's how half of these people ended up in these situations, was because of drugs they were put on by doctors and could never come off of. They didn't even ask for this life. No one chose it. No one wants to be homeless and scared and alone in a big city. No one wants that life.
Yeah.
So just like cool it a little. And it took me, I was not this way always either. It took me a long time to find this compassion and grace because, I mean, I'm also only 23. So I've been learning how the world works while growing up. And like, it's just like everyone else in their 20s. I didn't know how to think about things. I just thought what I thought was right. But you just have to see it for what it is. These are just people who are homeless. And they're getting the last bit of humanity ripped away from them.
Right.
And they have a little community. I'm sure they're all friends.
Acquaintances, at least.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
they know each other.
It gets them through the day, at least,
Mm-hmm.
And they're all going to be gone.
Totally. It's a tough break.
These are real issues, man.
Yeah.
Halifax is not all sunshine. Canada's not, as we've talked about. Like there are demons in this country's closet.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
100%. Yep. And the show goes on, sir.
It does. But it's nice to bring light to it.
So Royal Nova Scotia Tattoo just decided to turn around and revoke and end their partnership with Valour Maritime Society, who is essentially a nonprofit focused on helping out retired police officers and veterans,
right?
With finances and stuff like whatever they might come across.
Yeah.
Nova Scotia Tattoo was like, just living their lives. They have all these partners,
Yeah.
and then they just started getting messages from people saying, "Hey, did you know that Valour Maritime Society posted a photo of the thin blue line flag and have thin blue line hashtags in their tweets?" And Nova Scotia Tattoo is like, "Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, we're ending the partnership with them."
Like within like the same day.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it happened.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was like, let's pull up the
full
article here. Yeah. This is interesting. And this is from Nova Scotia Tattoo. Oh, sorry. Article's not here anymore.
the article is gone.
Oh, this is the article. Upon further review, we've decided to end our partnership with Valour Maritime Society. Thank you to everyone for bringing this matter to our attention.
Oh, that's just their statement. Okay.
That's a great statement.
Got it.
Cool. Sounds good.
What I think is interesting, though, there was a news article about it,
Mm-hmm.
and a representative from the Valour Society said, "I'm shocked and disheartened to learn this, given that they did not even approach us with this being an issue. They basically just received official communication that they are to part ways and be okay with it, and with nothing.
Yeah. Surprise,
That
surprise.
just is what it was. Yeah, and
I have a lack of respect for organizations like this.
yeah. Oh, me too.
I'm like,
You didn't even have the time. I have a lack of respect for people who just don't want to hear people out.
no, like, hey, like, let's have a conversation about it. What happened? What I imagine happened is they got a flood of messages saying you guys are racist because you're supporting a racist organization who supports. No, essentially racism upon racism upon racism.
They could see them getting canceled was on
Yeah.
the horizon, so they had to make sure they did something to protect themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And like, just saw these messages, and I'm sure like their social media person's like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Oh, thin blue line flag. I guess that's bad. I think that's bad, right? That represents racism. I think so. Yeah. All right. Poll them.
Yeah.
I imagine that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Based on how hasty this all happened.
But who did they think the Valour Society was?
Yeah. That's what I'm.
They haven't changed who they were.
No.
They've always supported ex-police, retired police, and military.
And what does the thin blue line flag represent?
At its core,
Police.
police.
That's what it is. But it was through, from my understanding, co-opting. The left has deemed it a racist symbol.
Yes, because they've deemed that it means Blue Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the symbol for blue lives,
Yeah.
which is police lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Valor's about.
Yeah.
That's what they've always been about.
Yeah. That's what
They
it
said
is.
it's just about their financial,
And so
like, supporting them.
for them to be assumed that they're racist at their core is really weird.
I know.
And for Nova Scotia Tattoo to literally have no spine whatsoever, to even have a conversation about, hey, like,
Because they could have also put out a statement. This is one option. They could have done this, and they did. Or they could have just said, we recognize that there may be some confusion in between, what Valour stands for and what the society or the media might have made their symbols mean. But Valour's been a long-time partner. They've only done right by our veterans and retired police officers, and they've been a great help to our event, and da-da-da-da. But just cut it.
you know,
I was not expecting. I like the tattoo. I've always gone. I don't know why. It's kind of boring, but I just kind of like going. I don't know.
it's the Halifax thing to do, man.
Yeah, it just seems right. But this was, I couldn't believe it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were
They're just trying to support people, man.
right. So that's why I came. Like, if they were actively like, on the offensive about what they were doing, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't even know this was coming.
No.
I don't even think they knew what it meant.
No. It is what it is, man. Like,
Just cut out that easily. Strange way to handle it, in my opinion. I'd rather talk through things.
mm-hmm.
Some people don't like to talk through things. That's fine, I guess, but
Well, it's like, I'm a huge believer in, if you want to protect, if you're always a first to protect your own skin, that crew that was messaging you, they'll get you eventually.
oh yeah,
They do every time.
yeah,
You keep caving, they always come.
yeah,
They'll get you.
yeah.
So this won't be the first time this happens in Nova Scotia Tattoo. So you set the precedent.
Yeah, you did. You set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
You could have said, actually, screw off. This is what it is, and moved on. And it's like shutting a bully up in high school. You don't give them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
this is what this was.
And what it also shows me too is like you don't actually know who you're signing on. If you moved that quickly, then you don't really know who your partners are.
Right.
Like that's also concerning.
Was it a partner that Valour was giving them money to put on the show? Like, were they a financial supporter?
I believe, actually, you don't fully know. What I understood is that they're almost like essentially they're buying advertisement, right?
Oh.
I think that's pretty sure.
Okay.
That's what kind of happened there.
But have done so since I can remember.
Yeah, like they've been a part of Nova Scotia Tattoo forever.
Yeah.
Like, here we go. So.
Everything comes to an end.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious what's going on with the Valour Maritime Society now.
I know. I wonder. I always think of when things like this happen, like over in the next 24 hours, what was the office like on both sides?
Yeah.
Who was sweating and why? I want to know.
Yeah. I wonder how those conversations went.
Yeah.
We got to get rid of them, guys. It'll just be easier for us. Just get rid of them.
Right. Like, I wonder how they got there.
Yeah.
And if it was actually that easy for them.
Actually, we've had conversations like that before. And they usually like pretty chill and be like, hey, what do we want to do? All right, we're going to do this. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I know, but
never with a hot head or on emotion.
We've that's like one decision we've always made is we'll never do something on emotion. Like we always.
You got to sleep on it.
100%. Give it 24 hours and get back to it.
Gotta.
Yeah. Like even like the lacrosse league I'm in, the officiating, they have a rule of like, if you're going to protest a game, we give you the 72-hour rule. Contact the league office in 72 hours and see how you're feeling. If you still believe what happened, then we can have a conversation about it.
Right.
But
so
like,
you're not just like, I'm mad I lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
But there's something to be said about that, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
There is also something to be said if you push people too long, though. Like I don't want to sound pompous, but my time has a price. I'm not going to wait forever just to complain.
Right.
I will eventually just let it go because there's bigger fish to fry. So you can't wait too long because then you may never act.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, totally. But that's all we got to say on that.
Yeah, screw the tattoo.
Yeah. Like, y'all need to step up.
Yeah. Shame.
But
Shame.
But who really cares? It's just our opinion. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just Josh and Dalton. So.
Yeah, just doing our best, incite some heat in the comments.
Yeah.
I wonder if people think we're evil or if they just know that we just want to bring other topics to life.
I think part of it is, if people who are listening to the show would probably, and who are trying to view things through a political lens, would probably be very confused by this episode.
Right.
They're like, you're right wing. Wait a second. No, you're left wing. Wait, no, you're right wing.
Right. You don't have to be. I can just talk about. That's what I mean. It's like I think people think we have to subscribe to something the whole way through because our show is confusing.
If you view it that way.
Yeah, like if you are only looking at us politically, we are confusing to watch. We make no sense.
True.
But that's the whole point. It's just, yeah. I'm curious. Maybe we should do a poll. Please tell us in the comments. I'm just teasing.
Do you guys think we're
right wing or left wing?
Yeah.
Just tell us right now.
But yeah, moving on from the Maritime Tattoo.
Yeah, from local news.
From local news, we're moving on. Obviously, this is going to be relatively old news, but we got some stuff to say about it.
I just think the only thing I really want to touch on is what no one else seems to be talking about.
What, R. Kelly versus her?
No, not that.
Because that's odd.
What do you mean?
R. Kelly gets 30 years.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell helped out numerous pedophiles and got 20 years.
Okay. So,
and we don't even know. They claimed that she was doing sex trafficking, but they won't tell us to who. It was just sex trafficking.
Okay, that. I didn't think of that.
Go on.
But what I did think about was didn't they have a book of all the...
Yeah.
Like, they know who these men who were...
Women do.
Men and women who are raping these underage girls. They know who they are, right?
Yep.
Ghislaine Maxwell got 20 years for helping them. Why are these people who did it not going to jail?
They're too powerful, man.
They're too powerful. They are 100%. They must control at least the media because I'm not hearing about anything about the actual people who did the crimes that Ghislaine arranged. I've heard not a peep about them.
I've heard more about Amber Heard than her.
Me too. No one's even brought this up that I know of. Like, I've not seen it anywhere on the internet. What? She arranged it. That's half of it.
Yeah.
Why are you not prosecuting the other half? They know who it is. There's flight records. The pilots testified in court. Like, this man could back it all up. They had to fly to the island. That one pilot could testify, yes, that person was on the plane to this island. They just need to get them into court. And it's just not happening. Why?
I think this was definitely a part of the whole that is starting to like the fabric of what essentially United States is built on is starting to fray, is because the United States is built on power and influence, and those at the top are starting to lose it, and this is one of those stories where it starts to happen. Yes,
because I mean, when they mention the names of the people that at least were involved with Epstein, I mean, it's presidents, it's business, it's like the Clintons, the Trump,
Gates.
Look at Gates in the face and tell me he's not a creep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sorry, he's weird. So, it doesn't seem right. Not that she doesn't deserve the time.
Mm-hmm.
She does. But I think you could honestly cut her, if you could do it, cut her a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, lower it way down if she testifies about every single person that went.
Yeah.
It's worth it, I think. Get the people who, like, really, and even lie to her, then put her back in jail. Who cares? Do anything to get those people. That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, I almost felt like they hid this thing in every way they could. For example, it was a federal court case, so there's technically not allowed to be any cameras.
Right, yep.
Nothing can be rolling.
Yep.
You can't document that way through the media. It's just like every little piece of red tape they could throw out.
Yeah.
There's like, okay, how do we limit how much the public's going to know about this?
I know.
And that's kind of, I feel like that's what happened, obviously.
It's crazy.
You know, and it just shows you how just corrupt our society is.
Yeah, how people who have no business influencing the law can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. They can do whatever they want.
The law, like, when you grow up and you think of, like, police officers and the law and the court, I grew up thinking it was black and white. If you did the crime in the book, this is the punishment. And I just thought that's how it was. It is not even close to that. There's more gray area over the law than there should be.
Right. Well, it was, you're going to laugh, but I came across a clip from Andrew Tate.
Oh, boy.
And he was just talking about how...
Not Andrew Tate.
Right.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. So he was talking about how North American society, specifically America, Canada too, is how those in government have really pushed the idea of freedom. Mm-hmm. That's what America's founded on. Freedom.
That's right, yep.
And he's like, and they've sold you a whole basket of freedom thinking that you're free, even though you work 8 hours a day to make enough money to live for your house and your food.
Yeah.
He's like, and this is his explanation. He's like, that's a modern version of slavery.
Yes.
He's like, you're working 8 hours a day just to make enough so you can live. That's what they would do in slave times, where they would give you enough just to live.
Just to come back the next day to work.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how he put it, which I thought was interesting. He's like, but now they realize through COVID, freedom stuff it's frayed. No one believes in freedom anymore.
No.
And they've seen through it. So now they're going to start, this is what he says, now they're going to start selling you a basket of safety. And they're going to just give you everything, tell you everything that they're going to do, but you're safe, make you feel better about what they're doing to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's intriguing.
And it's true. Just look at anything from the World Economic Forum about how you'll, rent forever and be happy. You'll get everything delivered. You'll never have to leave. Da-da-da-da-da. It makes sense.
Yep.
It does make sense.
It does add up.
And that part about the salary and, like, working, it was shown to me in a way where he said, if you were to look at an investment, would you, and the typical age of retirement is like 65, and then the average life expectancy in America, I think, is 75.
Wow.
He said, so you invest, assuming you start working at 20, you invest 45 years of time to get 10 years of freedom.
Dang.
Why?
That's deep. You brought the shovel out on that one, man.
Like that is the trick. That is how society has you tricked.
Mm-hmm.
If you think, I've changed my opinion. I just don't see a way out of this life without being an entrepreneur.
Right.
It seems so hard.
Yeah. It seems like, it seems lame.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's a lot of people listening who do live that life, and like that is good for them, and that's awesome. It's just like, we're just saying from our perspective, for us personally,
for me.
Yeah, like that's more so how we feel. That's just not like, that's not fun for me.
No.
You know? And I say that as someone who's working a 9-to-5 job.
Me too. Listen, I'm also realistic. I got to fund the goal.
Yeah.
I got to fund the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not for life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think I could be doing this till I'm 65. That's for sure.
No
chance.
I got to live a little before I die.
Yeah. Philip's gonna die tomorrow, so
Like, quit that job, baby.
Yeah, at this rate, yeah.
oh boy,
but it's true, and that's what this it
just comes down to this stuff, like just like
the government and power and safety nets and control, and it's just all shown.
like how in the world are and they deservedly so, but let's talk about it. You got that 36-year-old living in Iowa who got brought up on child porn charges.
What?
And they get the book thrown at them and make sure they're in jail for life.
Right.
These guys are doing something that is that, and then worse.
Yeah.
And we don't know their names. Don't know who they are.
But you could figure it out.
Yeah.
But they don't.
But no, we won't get to know about that. Like, that's nuts.
I know.
Holy smokes.
Because to me, one is just as bad as the other.
100%.
What that man did is just as bad as what these people did.
Yep.
So what is the difference?
He doesn't have the influence.
That's right. He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He will be forgotten about and mourned like he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And then life will go on.
Yeah. Brutal. Stuff ticks me off, man.
Me too. Beyond. Like, just does not sit right. But we're not the law.
Yeah.
We can just talk about it.
Yeah. We're just two white guys on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. People like to point that out a lot too.
Yeah. Specifically the beards, too. That's why I got rid of mine. Because I was feeling insecure that people were just kind of attributing my appearances to what I believe, and wasn't a fan of it.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, were people actually talking about our beards?
Yeah.
What?
Two white guys with the beard. Of course they have a podcast.
Sorry, you can't grow a beard, Chooch. Tell me you don't know. Tell me you can't grow a beard without telling me.
GG.
Like, sorry that I offend you so much. I don't even know what I could have said. That I never attack looks either. I'm not that type of person. Besides Bill Gates, that's different. But that is different.
Besides Bill Gates.
If you went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, you can attack their appearance. Yeah. We've done nothing that bad. What do we deserve? Like, that's high school stuff, man.
Yeah.
Not even. People don't even do that in high school.
They attack your looks. 100% they will. High school? 100%.
Oh.
Yeah, they did me all the time. They call me Bubble Butt.
No, isn't that a compliment, though?
Now it is.
Yeah, I was like, nowadays, like, now that's like a trend on TikTok.
Ayo. Oh, man. This is a chaotic episode from Technical Difficulties.
Went out again.
Dog. That's a sign. God said 3 strikes, you're out.
Technical difficulties too.
Well, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to end the episode on audio. We love you all. Thank you so much for listening to the episode.
If you could keep up.
Whatever it is you're doing.
Wherever you are. Josh loves you.
Whether you be walking along the harbor.
Or dealing with technical difficulties.
Or reading a book by Ghislaine Maxwell.
True.
Wait, she got a book?
Her book.
Oh, the Black Book. Yeah. Yeah, whatever it is you're doing.
Wherever you are.
We love you.
We're out.
Dang it. We forgot the outro music. See ya. Peace out. Awful. Good night.